phone. I didn't get a phone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's the first Sunday after Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas is done. Yoo-hoo!
Oh, I got a wild hair. It's doing odd things. Stay. That's okay.
Hope all is well. We had a surprise snow on Christmas morning. Oh,
It
my
was
goodness.
lovely.
That was a real surprise. Wow, cool.
Yes.
So long as you didn't have to drive in it. But
True.
I know Kelly was probably, yay, it's snowing.
Some people just love that stuff.
Kelly loves snow.
Yeah.
She
She's not the
absolutely
only
does.
one.
Yeah.
I like to see it. I don't like to have to be in it or drive it.
It's wonderful to just sit there and watch it.
Good morning.
Hi, Tracy.
So,
From places where it's not snowing.
yes, we had snow, Tracy. It was lovely. Missed you. Oh well. What's going on in the world?
I don't know. New Year's Eve is coming up.
It is.
2021. I'd kind of be glad to see 2020 by.
Yes.
But
Toodles.
21's going to be a challenge for
I think so.
good part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Good part of it. So be prepared, everybody.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Enough of that.
Enough of that. We had a wonderful. Our silly dog. We cut down a couple of trees in front. Not
Bricks are
happy.
hard,
But
but
it has made it all kinds of brighter
One
out
was.
front. Yeah, one was kind of. So it's probably even brighter for us here now. But with Jan opened the curtains, and the dog has been standing on a perch, staring out ever since. She hasn't moved.
we have an ottoman that I set over there for whatever reason.
No,
She's
anyway.
using it.
Hi, Shaylee.
Hello.
Hey,
Good
Brett.
to see everybody.
T-shirts and sweatshirts. Let's eat, Mom. Let's eat, Mom. Punctuation saves lives. The past, present, and future walked into a bar. It was tense. A good pun in its own is its own reward. Word. Reword. Listen and silent have the same letters. Coincidence?
Things that make you go,
And then a box with a think outside of it.
Think outside the box.
Yup. All right. Okay, we do have a couple of saints by the name of John Lennon and George Garland.
Yay, George and John.
Hi, Terry. John said,
He did. What
He
did John
did.
say?
we've got this gift of love,
We do.
but love is a precious plant. It's like a precious plant. You can't just accept it and leave it in a cupboard or just think it's going to get on by itself. You've got to keep watering it. You've got to really look after it and nurture it. You do. It just doesn't
And
happen.
the ones that you love.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the point.
Well, I think we can nurture that loving aspect of ourselves.
True. Okay.
So,
And George, the future will soon be a thing of the past.
true.
Hi,
Yay,
Michelle.
George.
Hi, Marcia.
Good morning.
And some of these things are like, I don't even know why I read them sometimes, but I read them anyway. You know, it's like,
We wonder
who
too.
cares?
We wonder that
And
also.
this is one of those. Abe Lincoln's mother died from drinking the milk of a family dairy cow after it had eaten poisonous mushrooms. Now, there's something to remember.
Wonder how old Abe was.
How old Abe was?
Hmm?
I don't know.
When that happened. I wonder.
Hey, Scott. It also doesn't snow where Scott is either. Well, actually,
Does it snow?
I actually think it has.
It hurricanes there,
Well,
but it
definitely
doesn't.
hurricanes there. Yeah.
But it doesn't snow.
I
We had
think they
snow.
have had snow occasionally, but he's in the north of that area. So anyway,
Yes.
if we had no faults of our own, we would not take so much pleasure in noticing those of others.
You're probably right.
Until the day of his death, no man can be sure of his courage. I believe that. We can say all we want, and we will never know until we're put in those situations.
Sometimes waking up requires courage.
Yeah. Do not free a camel of the burden of his hump. You may be freeing him from being a camel. Men can acquire knowledge, but not wisdom. Some of the greatest fools ever known were learned men. Mm. The only way to get rid of temptation is to yield to it. Oscar Wilde. I don't recommend that normally, though.
No.
Oops. I need to pick that up, or I will never find my spot again in this book.
You wouldn't want him lost.
Not
He might repeat
spotless.
something.
Yeah. Those who bring sunshine to the lives of others cannot keep it from themselves.
True.
Hi, Sandy. No man is an island, entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. That's the rest of it that people hear sometimes. No man is an island. That's the whole thing.
He is a part of the piece of it.
Yep. Ah, but a man's reach should exceed his grasp.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
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 Because
Yep.
if you, yeah.
Yep. I have no
Stretch.
specific one joke, so I'm just going to kind of read little bitty ones. An elderly woman died last month. Having never married, she requested no male pallbearers. In her handwritten instructions on her memorial service, she wrote, "They wouldn't take me out while I was alive. I don't want them to take me out when I'm dead."
She'd have to get some bodybuilding women because those things are heavy.
They are heavy.
Put them on a cart and roll it.
A Sunday school teacher asked the children just before she dismissed them to go to church. Oh, I did that one. Never mind. I did that one. So
That doesn't mean remember.
it was just the one where they said, the one thing, you'd be quiet when you go into church because everybody's sleeping.
Oh,
So
yes.
yeah, the kids chill. Yeah.
And
Oh, well, this was from 1998, so it has nothing to do with anything currently, but I still am going to read it. It's funny. As the dad was reading a bedtime story to his little girl, she interrupted and asked, "Daddy, so all fairy tales begin with once upon a time?" "Well, no," the father responded. "Some begin with if I am elected." No, it's a good. Oh, no. Sorry, I'm reading. I know I read them, but I forgot. Know what the greatest thing about telling clean jokes is? There's a very good chance no one's ever heard them before.
oh, yes, that's true.
The old cowboy applied for insurance policy. "Have you ever had an accident?" asked the agent. Well, no," replied the cowboy. "Well, though a Bronco did kick in 2 of your ribs last summer, and a couple of years ago a rattler did bite me on the ankle." "Wouldn't you call those accidents?" asked the puzzled agent. "Nah," cowboy said. "They did it on purpose."
Okay,
Ta-da! Time
Ta-da.
for coffee.
to coffee. He's going to quaff some coffee, and then he's going to quaff himself out of here.
Bye.
Bye.
Where'd the dog go?
I don't know.
She's running around, so she. Oh no, she laid down.
She
Good
laid
girl.
down. Can you see a nose behind the?
Yeah, you can. You can just barely
There's
see
a
a
little
nose.
face right there.
See a little nose. It's more of a nose.
So she'll just keep. She's been goofy all morning, so hopefully she'll just be really still and quiet. Oh boy! Wow! For what I want to share with you today. Before we get started in that, I'd like to read to you a prayer for safety during the pandemic that I wrote recently. I don't think I've shared it. Maybe I have. Forgive me if I have. We'll pray it again. Loving Spirit of Light, help me walk a safe path for my health. Help me to eat wisely and act with compassion toward myself and others. Release fear and anger from my heart and mind, as they have no place on my sacred path. Be with me in moments of aloneness. Help me find new and safe ways to connect with friends and loved ones, and even strangers I might meet along the way. And when my imagining of what might happen causes me distress, grant me peace in knowing that you will guide me through any changes. Guide humanity into innovative solutions and heal our world. Help us heal our planet with wise actions and compassionate choices. Whatever the outcome, make your presence known, so that I may not only endure, but grow in wisdom, compassion, and peace. In the name of the Ascended One, Jesus. Amen. Hope that blessed you. So, what I want to talk to you today about is the last in the series of the superpowers, and yay, I'm going to get them all done before the end of the year. And this one is honor. Well, I was going to talk about honor last week until I got in the shower and Spirit decided that was not what we were going to talk about then. We're going to talk about something else and save honor for this week. So this morning, I was just starting to get up, and I kind of had, I got my thoughts together, and a Bible verse together, all that stuff. And lo and behold, some new stuff was thrown at me. Not new stuff, old stuff, I guess. But a new insight on what to share with you today. So my mind is kind of like, oh my gosh, there's so much information here. So bear with me if it feels a little discombobulated. Kind of just hold it in your heart space and let your heart feel the truth of it. Let your heart know what you need to know, even if my presentation may not be as smooth as I would like it to be. And then after our discussion for our guided meditation, I'm going to walk you through a process where we're going to utilize our spirit animals for one more thing. So this is going to be a real fun morning. First of all, I want to share with you that the energy of honor is really an upright heart. An upright heart. The heart doing the right thing when other people may not be doing the right thing. And that's a real challenge, isn't it? That's why it's a superpower. But I've got some interesting stuff I want to share with you about that to make it so much easier. So we're not feeling like we're swimming upstream or we're the only one, or how in the heck is that accomplished? So the first thing I want to share with you about that is that honor is a choice. And in that choice, we have the opportunity to move beyond comply or rebel, and we get to walk our sacred path. Well, what do I mean by comply or rebel? Well, how can I say this to you? Let me just say it this way. Let me give you a story. So, years ago, I was not married to Mr. Phil. I was quite young, and the person I was married to at the time got up in the morning, we had a young kid, and of course toys everywhere. And I had decided that I was going to make sure the house was big and span, I had energy, I wanted to do that, it was in my heart to do. And he got up and he said, you better clean house today. And you remember the irk feeling? I had that irk feeling. And that put me in a conundrum. Because my nature is don't tell me what to do. So my nature is to rebel. But I already had it in my heart I was going to do that. So I couldn't rebel and do what my heart wanted to do. But if I did what my heart wanted to do, then I was complying with what he wanted me to do. And that pissed me off. And so I had to ponder on that for a minute. And I just said, well, that's already in my heart to do. And he said, well, you just better get it done. Well, whatever. Fine. So he left. And it was still in my heart to do. And I struggled for a bit until I realized that it didn't matter if he thought it was compliance or not. I was going to follow my heart. Not the heart that gets its feelings hurt and says, well, I'm just not going to do anything. Not that rebellious nature. But I was going to follow the heart of hearts, which was already had planned to do that. So I did. And when this person came home, he said, well, I'm glad you finally cleaned the house, like I told you to. And I said, you know, it does feel good when it's really clean. It was in my heart to do, so I did it. And he just quieted down. He never once, after that, demanded that I do that. Never once put me at that point of choice of comply or rebel. Because I was following my sacred path. And when we follow our sacred path, it's a path of honor. My upright heart had made the decision, and I was going to follow it. And if it looked like compliance to somebody else, so be it. If it looked like rebelling to somebody else, so be it. But I was going to follow what my heart was instructing me to do. That was walk a sacred path. It's so hard to walk a sacred path, is it not? Especially when people are unkind, bitter, or angry, or whatever. It just makes it really challenging. So, since that time, I've had more time to learn, more time to grow, more time to expand myself spiritually. And I stumbled across a couple of books that have really helped in this process. And I've snagged a couple of insights from them. I want to share them with you. So one is Nonviolent Communication by Rosenberg. Is that backwards for you? It probably is. And the other one is The Pathway by Elaine Mellon. So here's the thing. Often when we're struggling with the comply, rebel, or walk a sacred path, it's because we've been triggered. An experience we've had has triggered us so that we're challenged. Well, that's okay. It's okay to be challenged. The key is recognizing that it is a challenge. When we feel our needs are not being met, or we feel like we're in this challenge, we feel disgusted, disheartened, lazy, dull, downhearted, downcast, ashamed, bewildered, fatigued. These are all things that are energetically charged. But if we're walking a sacred path, the words that express where we are have this neutral and or uplifting energy. Words like adventurous, alive, alert, excited, exhilarated. Could you feel the difference in those words? Yeah. That's on page 44 and 45 of Nonviolent Communication, if you happen to want to look that up. You can look up the Nonviolent Communication. There's a website that has a lot of good information for you, if you'd like to look at that. So having that awareness of, oh, I've gotten triggered and now I have this feeling, these negative feelings because my needs are not being met. Okay, so what? Now we work through that in a way that is sacred to us. And that's where the pathway comes in. And in the Pathway book, she talks about noticing how you feel. We've been talking about that for some time, have we not? And with that, look at our part with an I get to. When it's they should have done it this way, they should do it that way, I have to do it this way, I've got to do it that way, or no way am I going to do it that way, we're going to comply and rebel. But when we're going to look at our sacred path clearly, neutrally, from a neutral point of view, then we're empowered. We're empowered in this sacred path that brings honor into our being and helps us walk with this upright heart. How cool is that? So it's a several step process, and one of the steps is I get to. Okay, so this thing happened, and I'm upset about that. Maybe I'm feeling betrayed, or I'm feeling, what are some of the other words that that he has? He has a great one. Miserable, overwhelmed, panicky. So whatever that experience is generating within me, notice it. Because if we go, la la la, everything's just fine, it's not going to be fine. It's pay attention. Our sacred path requires our attention. So noticing how we feel, even if it's unpleasant, it's okay, it's just unpleasant. So now we look at that and we say, okay, I get to, so I'm feeling overwhelmed about something. I get to breathe for now. Or I'm feeling betrayed by that person. I get to walk my own path, my own way. I get to move forward. I get to move beyond that. I get to see the truth of that. I get to choose new friends. See the I get to's? They're really powerful stuff. And then add they get to. They get to be whoever they are. They get to do whatever they need to do. People are just working out their karma. They're just working out their crap. And we just happen to be a part of the game that we all play, part of this life experience. And if we can take them out of that blame, shame stuff, take ourselves out of the blame, shame stuff, and realize it's just a part of life. And they get to find their own way. They get to walk their pathway. Right? They get to. And I get to do what I need to do to help me on my journey. And then Elaine suggests that you do one good thing for yourself. So one thing I could do for myself today would be call a different friend and see what they're doing. Maybe one good thing I could do for myself today would be get out some paints and do some painting. Maybe one good thing I could do for myself today, if the weather's nice, would be get out and work in the yard, because I love that. It's good for me. But what's good for me may not be good for you. But what's good for you? Do one good thing for yourself. And when we do that, our upright heart is fed, and we are strong and we're sturdy, and this path of honor opens up for us. And we're strengthened, and we're empowered in our own world, in our own life. See how that works together? We can comply and we can rebel. Those take a ton of energy because there's resistance and there's struggle and there's emotional charge to that. Now, not that there's not an emotional charge to the exhilarated feeling of walking your sacred path, but it's a different kind of energy. It's a draining energy. Some of us are walking around this world and we're exhausted all the time because we're comply or rebel, because the people in our lives are really demanding. Maybe we've spoiled them into being demanding. Maybe that's just their nature. Maybe it's part of the karma that we're working through. Maybe some of the stuff that it's time for us to learn. Time for us to step into our own life and walk our sacred path clearly, uplifted, without the burden of that struggle. Feels beautiful, doesn't it? So what's going on in your world right now that's causing you struggle and distress? Something to do with the current lockdown? Oh, they're making me stay home. Well, that takes energy to fight that. It takes energy to be in the rebel state of being. And then the other side is comply. I have to stay home. Poor me. Well, that's that comply energy. That's draining as well. What about waking up in the morning going, I'm choosing to stay close to home today because I'm going to keep myself safe. Totally different energy. Totally different energy. So instead of struggling with this comply and rebel that takes energy from us, now we're uplifted. That uplifted energy of an upright heart. That's honor. And that honor allows us to make good choices for ourselves and for others and for our relationships with others. So when we are in a situation where we need to make a choice, we can give ourselves a minute or two to think. I'm not sure how to respond to that right now. Let me get back to you on that. Can I think about that for a little while? Let me respond to you in a minute. Because if you find yourself irked with that comply or rebel, this is not sacred. It's not your sacred path. Your sacred path is full of honor, with this upright heart, this integrity within. So walking that path is powerful, empowers us, and uplifts us. And you know what's really, really cool? It uplifts the ones around us. It doesn't perpetuate any abuse. What it does is it neutralizes a lot of that. Now, I'm going to say this about that. If you're in a dangerous situation, comply to get yourself safe. Make sense? Because that's wise and that's smart. But don't let that compliance just fill you full of worthlessness to the point where you can't function. Again, still, they get to act like that, and I get to find my way out if you're in an abusive situation. Make sense? It may look like compliance to that person, but it's really not compliance. What you're doing is, I'm choosing to keep myself safe. And choosing to be safe means I need to keep my mouth shut and my actions down. That's my choice. That's a heart of heart, and that's upright. That's honorable action. They may think it's complying. The world may think it's complying, but you're walking your sacred path because you're the one that knows how to get yourself safe and get yourself into a better situation. You may not know that answer right now, but your soul does. And your soul will guide you when you listen with an upright heart. Isn't that beautiful? It's the answer to a lot of our prayers. It's the answer to a lot of our struggles. So what are you struggling with right now? When you look at anything that has a struggle to it, it's probably a comply or rebel situation. This or that. I don't like either action. Find your truth. What is my truth about that? And what is going to serve you best? And then they get to do what they're going to do. They're just walking their path. They're just working their karma out. I don't have to take it personally. So that friend snarked at me. Maybe they had a bad day. Maybe they had a bad life. Who knows? But I don't have to take it personally. They get to be snarky. And I get to distance myself from that. I'll check in with them another day. If they're repeatedly snarky, maybe it's time for me to find a new friend. But coming from that place of uprightness of like, well, I'm just never going to speak to that person again. That's not that uprightness. That's that rebelling. And boy, as much as I love that, it's not beneficial. It doesn't serve the soul. It doesn't bless your being. Now the Bible verse I want to read to you. Psalms 97:11. Light. You're going to love this. When I found this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest verse ever. Don't you love it? Whether you do or not. Psalms 97:11. Light is sown like seed for the righteous. Light is sown like seed for the righteous. So let me describe that a little bit for you. So righteous is like right wiseness, doing the right thing from an upright heart. We don't have to be perfect, but when we're coming from this upright heart, our choices are usually right on and are a blessing to ourselves and the world. And what happens then is light, divine light, is sown. And you know how they used to sow, or even nowadays, if you're going to sow grass seed, you put it in this little container, you just have a little wheel, and it just spins it everywhere. Okay, light is just spread everywhere. Like seed for the righteous. And gladness for the upright heart. So gladness is a result. This struggle, when we can let go of this struggle, this pressure back and forth, then what's left is this beautiful energy of grace. And it leads us to hope. So the results of this honor of walking with an upright heart is hope and grace. And light just is everywhere. That's what we really want. And we can have that no matter what anybody else is doing. No matter what circumstances are going on in the world, we can walk with this upright heart. And we can have this light sown in our life, broadcast in our life, because we're doing the right thing, the upright thing. We're walking with honor. That's powerful, is it not? What else did I want to share with you? When we are in that mode of comply or rebel, that distresses the soul. And it drains our life force energy. Walking with an upright heart grants us courage. grants us this hope for a brighter day. Because whatever we sow out there is going to be brought back to us. As you reap, so shall you reap. Let me tell you another little story. So this was a person that I know bought his bikes for his family for Christmas. And got the bikes home and realized that he had been undercharged. And in the past he would have just said, ha ha, I got away with it, you know. But his heart, his upright heart said, you know, that's just not right. So he took the receipts back and he took the tags back and he took them to the store and he said, I don't feel right about this. The manager, the checkout person had to call the manager over because she didn't know what to do with that, because he wanted to pay more than he had, which was like really rare. And the manager was called over, and she was so impressed that she gave him a huge discount on the amount that was left, so he didn't have to pay much. But his heart felt good because he'd done the right thing, rather than cheating the company out of that. Oh, they're a big company. No, he did the right thing. That was coming from an upright heart. And when he followed that, he felt better about himself than he had in a long time. Powerful stuff. This upright heart. When we're walking around with an upright heart, nothing can get you down. When you're walking around with an upright heart, nothing can get you down. Oh, maybe momentarily, because we are human and we're going to get caught up. But when we pay attention and notice where we're hung up, and give them a get to, give ourselves a get to, and do something kind for ourselves, and honoring that upright path, honor is a result. And we are so richly blessed for that. It brings us such hope for a brighter day. Because if we can handle that, we can handle a lot of stuff. If we can transform that energy, we can transform a lot of stuff. Now, I know there's people, we all fall into this category, do we not? That we've had hurts from our childhood, hurts from long ago. And it's time to look at that with an upright heart. My dad, he was pretty brutal. I could just acknowledge that he did the best that he could do with the one tool he had, which was a belt. He didn't really have anything else in his toolbox for dealing with children. That was it. Because that was all he had. That was all that was dealt to him. And he gets to be responsible for that. He's on the other side now. And I get to be free of it. And one thing I can do for myself right now is to be honorable. To walk with an upright heart. Not because somebody's going to beat the snot out of me, or not because somebody's going to criticize me, or not because somebody's going to be angry or disappointed, but because it's what I choose. I get to choose my upright path, that ascension path, that sweet journey that brings this light from above. It's wonderful. Can you feel the light that has been bestowed upon us just as we were talking? I can. I know you can. So walk your path with an upright heart. It's your path. And when we get off of that sacred path, oh gosh, we do, don't we? We're humans. Oh, that darn Phil Burr, you know. That stupid dog, I'm mad at the dog, or the darn cat, whatever. We can just step back on the path. And we do that by noticing and checking in with that heart of hearts. And for me, what it looks like for me is Jesus is standing on the path going, come on, welcome back. I got you. Come on back. Just a step away. Because it's easy to step aside and get caught up in that stuff. But how long we choose to stay stuck, how long we choose to stay caught up, that's the key, is it not? So notice, they get to, I get to, and here's one thing I could do for me today that would bless me on my sacred journey, on my path. Hope that helps. We're going to talk more about that on Wednesday Wisdoms. In the meantime, Mr. Phil, if you join me up front, that sounded like when we were back at the church building. Oh, I miss the church building, don't you? At least with the snow, we didn't have to worry about shoveling because nobody's there. Darn.
Did you need the phone?
I probably will need the phone here in a minute.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So communion, this is symbolically reminding us to take it in, to really consume spiritual things and let it support us, let it bless us. So join us in prayer, would you please? Loving Spirit of light, as we take this in, help us to take in life and take it in with keen insight and awareness. Help us to see the truth. Help us to walk our truth. Grant us honor. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Sorry, my hand was in the way.
Would you apologize to the other hand?
No, I was apologizing to you.
Oh.
My hand was in the way so you couldn't see to take it. Sometimes our sacred path is pretty danged hilarious, isn't it? Join me in prayer, please, would ya?
Please.
Loving the Spirit of light, as we drink this in, help us to drink in life, all of it. Help us to notice and pay attention, and help us to shift into our sacred path, a place of honor from an upright heart. These things we pray in the name of the Ascended One, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. And
Did we tell everybody that we saw the conjunction, Jupiter and Saturn? Did we tell anybody that?
I don't think we did.
It was fun. We actually went out on the 21st, went up on our little hill and looked and so well, there it is.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
But you had to get there like literally within about a half hour to 45 minutes after the sun set, because if you waited like until like 6 o'clock, it was gone because it was going down fast on the horizon. So.
But it was really quite lovely.
It was real cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Very nice.
Okay.
And I think
And Beth is right on top of it.
Thank you, Beth.
Donations. Thank you so
Donations.
much. We still have the building. Yeah, it's there. I'm sure it is. We saw it there.
Yes.
Yeah, we went there last week.
You get to go by there on the second Saturday of January. We're going to do another drive-by, depending on the weather. If it's snowing, no, we won't. But unless there's sleet or snow or something, we'll be doing another drive-by blessing. And this one will be a healing. So I'll give you more information on that as we get closer to that.
So, not so much it's not going to... The other one was like a gift and a little bit of a fundraiser. This one's not so much a fundraiser as just,
Although we
hopefully-
will have a little fun thing
Yeah?
that for donation, yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so we're going to have, again, I'll give you more information on that. It'll be a game that you can play with the superpowers, and then we'll have a couple of other little fun things to throw with that. So, more on that.
Cool.
More on that.
Thanks, everybody. Really do appreciate everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Linda.
So, let's do a guided meditation, shall we?
I'll go grab the phone.
Thank you.
Oh.
You can go that way in the house, you can go that way in the house, because the phone is straight that way. All right. So, last week we did a guided meditation where you connected in with your spirit animals, and then Wednesday Wisdoms, I showed you how to work with your spirit animals. Thank you, dear. I have another technique I want to share with you today. Petting the cat? Were you petting the cat? Oh, just checking.
He's actually in your chair.
Always in my chair. So what I want to share with you today is one more thing you can use your spirit animals for. They're not just here to be something to brag about. They're here to work. And they want to help. They want to be of assistance. So, pardon me. So whatever spirit animal you chose or came to you in that last guided meditation, you could use the same one that came to you for power, for strength. Thank you, dear. Or choose another one. And here's that choosing process. What happens here is this. Let me back up a minute. Waiting, 1 second. Okay. So what I'm hearing that I need to share with you is that every animal kind exists in spirit form in the quintessential essence of their being. So in other words, lion. Not a lion or that lion, but lion has this quintessential energy of what lion is and what lion does. And that exists in the spirit realm to assist us. Same with buffalo. Same with horse or rabbit or whatever. Make sense? And when we call a spirit animal to us, we're calling that quintessential energy. We're calling that specific life force energy to assist us. So when you think of kangaroo, is what just came to me. I don't know why they said kangaroo. When you think of kangaroo, you think of jumping. They kick with their feet and they carry their babies in a pouch. So this is being able to carry that which is precious to you, close to your being, keeping it safe. This is about protection in some ways. It's about being able to move effortlessly to the next step. Does that make sense? If you're looking at raccoon, they wash their food and they have little hand things, little paws that look like hands. So this is about being able to handle your life carefully, being able to see what you're doing. That makes sense? And they work at night, so it's being able to work through the darkness. So whatever energy comes to you as to identify that particular animal for you, that's the energy it brings to you. Okay? Now, I might have a different perspective of that particular animal, and that's, if that animal comes to me, then I will have that perspective added to it. So what is the perspective that you have? That's what's the key here. That's what your intent is. That's what your connection point is. Okay? Now, when we did that guided meditation, we let the animal come to us. Because it's really such a blessing, such an honor to go, oh my gosh, that animal chose to be with me. Wow. I'm so impressed. I'm so grateful. It's such a beautiful thing. When you have a specific challenge or a specific thing that you would like to have specific help with, you get to call a spirit animal to you. You have the right to do that. So we're going to do 2 today. And the first one is going to be one for protection. Now, there's lots of kinds of protection. For me, it doesn't have to be for you, but for me, the protection that I needed the most when I first started working with spirit animals, when I first started working with any of the spiritual stuff, was protection from things that hadn't crossed over. Spiritual, creepy things. Make sense? Some of you may have that same need as well. When my snow tiger first came to me, beautiful green-eyed snow tiger, my gosh, I still see it, still powerfully in my image. It just was with me a lot. And then as I started working with people that were crossing over and talking to people that had passed, I really started getting input from things that I don't want to deal with that stuff. If I'm going to sit down and take some time and cross something over someone over, then that's my choice. I don't want them waking me up in the middle of the night. That's not cool. That's not okay. So I asked my snow tiger to patrol my area. So what I did is I created for myself a garden in my imagination. And I asked that this is my sacred space. And it correlated to wherever I was in the universe, whether it was in the grocery store, was at my home, whether I was awake or was asleep, that this ethereal garden existed. And this tiger walks the outside perimeter, and nothing is allowed in that I don't invite in. Okay? Make sense? You could do the same thing by envisioning your home and noticing the outside perimeter of your property or whatever works for you. And ask whatever spirit guide, spirit animal that you're going to call to yourself to protect. And that's all you do is just say, spirit animal, whatever it is, dog, horse, fish, cat, whatever, protect. And they're on task, and it's their job, they'll do that. Now, I mentioned fish for a specific reason, because that's not a real good task for a fish to do, because they don't really protect. That's not part of their energetic structure. Whereas buffalo will protect their young. They'll circle up and face the foe. Lions, tigers, bears, wolves, those things that have a I think you got that?
Back.
Hope my dog didn't make your dog's bite. Probably. So I'm trying to let that get taken care of. So I want you to think about what your situation is, or maybe you need protection against somebody that. Thanks, dear. Maybe there's somebody in your world that's a little irrational or a little, maybe just a little edgy. And you need to know ahead of time before they get edgy. Like if a coworker is nice one minute and then the next minute they're snarky. And you need to kind of have an alert for that. Does that make sense to you? So that would... Maybe you could have a howling hound to give you that alert. But anyway, it's nice to know that. And these spirit animals can work in profound ways with the here and now with living beings. So if you get an alert, then that spirit animal will place itself between you and this other person. And again, it gives you distance so that you don't have to take whatever they're experiencing personally. Makes you more of the sacred observer because of that. Now, I remember asking for spirit help when I was working in an environment where I had a boss who was, I wouldn't want to say abusive, but they were a piece of work, let's just say. They were a crazy maker. One of those. And this spirit animal, when I called it and asked it to protect, when this person, as soon as I did that, the same boss would come up and he wouldn't get as close to my desk. He would get in my desk and then hover over me and be hostile. He didn't get even close to my desk. He stayed back. So again, this gives you physical space, a physical manifestation of what's happening in the spirit world in your behalf. So just, hopefully the dog won't bark again. Just center yourself right here, right now. Just be in this moment. And either notice an animal coming to you or choose one. Maybe there's an animal that you would really like to have. Choose that. You have a right to choose a spirit animal. So select one. If one is showing up already, then you've got to volunteer. And you can choose to accept that. Or say no thank you and choose something else. There's no, again, no comply, rebel. It's walk a sacred path. What is your upright heart choosing for yourself? Make sense? So have you chosen your spirit animal? What's the best quality that animal has? Notice that. Notice that. And say, spirit animal, whatever it is, protect. Protect me in this situation. Like for me with the spirit beings, protect me from anything that's not from love and light. In that work situation, protect me from that abusive boss, or protect me from that disruptive boss. And when you have said that, let it go to work. You may not see it again because it's working. It's doing what it needs to do in your behalf. That makes sense to you? I hope it does. Do you have a sense of it feeling safer now? Because this is powerful stuff. You've accepted this powerful energy in your own behalf and you've put it to work for you and for your environment. Now take a deep breath in. And just being with that for a second. Now I want you to choose a second spirit animal. This one is going to bring to you the energy of peace. Lila. Come here. I'm going to send you to spirit animal for her. Yep. Honey, come get her. Please. Would you just close those curtains for me, honey? Thank you.
There's nothing there.
I know. She's stupid. Sorry.
That's enough. No.
There, gotta close her off from the outside world. Maybe she'll shut it. She got all spun up with the doorbell. So what spirit being would you choose? Would it be something to bring you peace? Something that brings a feeling of peacefulness? This, for me, it was a koi. Have you ever watched koi swim? They're so beautiful. They just gently move through the water. And a spirit being, a spirit koi can just swim right past you very gently because they don't have to swim in water. They're spirit. So maybe it's a swan. Maybe it's a dove. Maybe it's a purring kitten. Choose something that feels soft and peaceful to you. What might that be? Choose something that brings that energy to you. And just notice it. No. Sit. Stay. And as you're noticing that spirit animal, then you're going to ask it to be on task. Bring me peace. Bring me peace. And just be with that. Have a sense of that. Know that that energy is going to be gifted to you when you need it. Every time you need it. Like I woke up in the middle of the night last night and bring me peace. My little koi just swam through the bedroom. It was just lovely. And I just watched it for a bit and then I was able to gently drift back off to sleep because it brought me peace. That's its task. So whatever you choose wisely. So mine was this koi fish. So koi fish, bring me peace. And this koi was white with black and orange and red on it. It was beautiful, just beautiful. And I even think about it and I find myself feeling very peaceful inside because that's the energy that it's carrying and bringing to me in any moment that I ask for it. And what's wonderful is even if I don't know I need peace, I can call that spirit animal, or sometimes it'll just show up in my awareness. Oh, it's time for me to have some peace. Miss Lila is at peace. at my feet here. Finally. So I hope that blesses you. I hope that gives you the insights that you can use in your world. Whatever situation is going on, we just chose two things. One was for protection and one was for peace. And they can both be active at the same time. You can be protected and peaceful at the same time. So if you find that you're sensing that something would help you in your world, whatever that would be, identify it, notice it, identify it, and either see if a spirit being comes to you or choose one and give it a directive. It's a very powerful way to work with your spirit animals. And it works. It really, really works in your world. Now Lila's almost asleep over here. Maybe my little koi fish was assisting in that process as well. Oh, maybe not. Hey, shut it. So, if you have any questions about that, text them to Phil and he will give me a call on the phone. Miss Delilah, shut it, please. Yeah. We've heard your voice enough. So I'm calling to see if Phil's here.
Second here, for some reason.
It's going to be one of those mornings, huh?
Yeah, all of a sudden I have lost the feed. I got to try to find it.
Oh, no. Well, I tell you what, Phil.
No, I know it's here. I know it's here.
How are we on time? Well, you know, if you want to just let me do it directly, I'd like to work with some if I could, but...
I got it. Okay. Tracy, polar bear and a red cardinal.
Okay, so the polar bear was for your protection. So this gives you the ability to just chill. You're going to just send this polar bear to help people just chill. Make sense? And the red cardinal, this is singing that song that just allows you to sing your soul song to the best of your ability. No comply, no rebel, just singing your soul song to the best of your ability, and that will bring you peace. It's beautiful. What else? Anybody else?
Christine, black cougar and an otter.
Okay, so the black cougar, they have the ability to be unseen. You know, the darker coat makes them so they're hard to see. So this allows you to move through your life effortlessly. Makes sense? So that you don't have to worry about, how can I say this, I would venture to guess that you're probably very empathic. And who was it that said this?
This was Christine.
Christine. Okay, so you're probably really, really empathic, Christine. And we tend to wear darker colors and we tend to hide our energy. So this panther is here to allow you to shine and be who you are. But those people that would feed on your energy can't see you anymore. That's pretty cool, huh? And the other was an otter. Okay, so the otter has real fun energy here. You may have a tendency to tell yourself which otter to be doing. And this otter is just all about playfulness. They just love to play and they swim and change directions quickly. So this allows you to be at peace and still be active. It allows you to be peaceful without pushing yourself into what you think you should be doing. Hope that helps and blesses you.
Myrna had a black wolf and a yellow butterfly.
Okay, black wolf is all about the same kind of energy as the black cougar. This is, you can stay off the radar. You're protected from people sucking your energy. They'll protect you from that. And the, what was her second one?
Yellow butterfly.
Oh, yellow butterfly. So this is about just noticing and being at ease. When you can allow yourself to be at ease and just notice the sweetness of life as the butterfly just flutters around. This allows you to stay active, but allows you to just notice and be, and that brings you peace. Hope that helps. Anybody else? Maybe one or two more, and then we'll.
Marcia had a beaver walking up in her front yard, and then a deer in the forest.
Okay, so the beaver as protection, walking up your front yard. So I'm not sure what you were asking to be protected from, but the beavers are all their energy is twofold. One is the work ethic; they are good workers, and the other is they smack their tail on the water to notify if there's any danger. So this is giving you again that alert. So you'll either hear it, sense it, feel it. Just know that something is amiss and that you can protect yourself or you can take action in your own behalf. And then what was the other one, dear?
No, sorry,
A deer in the woods. Deer in the woods.
A deer.
Yeah, deer in the woods. So the deer is about, that's back to that innocence. You know, very gentle, very peaceful. There's no efforting involved in anything, no anguishing about things. You just take in the world as it is, noticing it as it is, that sweet innocence that will bring you peace. Okay? What else?
We've got quite a few more, so you want to just do, what, one or two, or one, or what?
Yeah, give me one more and then we'll move on.
Okay, Marlena had an elephant and a purring kitty cat for peace.
Okay. So the elephant, they're very powerful. And they're going to charge against whatever is not in your behalf. Does that make sense? So they also trumpet. So you'll get an alert and you'll have this protection. So you don't have to be quite so guarded, or you don't have to feel like you have to do all the work for yourself. Does that make sense? And then the purring kitten. There's just not much better in this world than a purring kitten. And that just helps you feel just so peaceful. And that vibration of peace is what is going to be brought to you. So you'll have a sense of that vibration of peace that will grant you that peacefulness even in difficult challenges. Okay? So I'll get back and chat with the rest of you about some of your other things. Hope you enjoyed that. Again, thanks for enduring the home version with the dog.
That was the neighbor boy that wanted to come and do some work in our front yard.
Nice of him to want to do that.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Gosh, I love it when stuff just download. Here, take this, give it to them. It's kind of fun. It's fun being me sometimes. All right. Rub your hands together really, really, really fast. You're connected in. That connection is always there. But as we pay attention to that, we can bring more of that connection into our heart space. From the heart space to left hand to right hand back to the heart space. That connects a circuit. If we were at the church building, we would do this big giant circle around the...
Sometimes a double circle because there'll be so many people.
Yeah. So someday again we'll be doing that. And then we do left hand up and right hand down and share the energy in the circle. Rather than getting our hands all screwed up here, we're just going to bring that energy to ourselves. So bringing that energy, it's bright, it's clear, straight from divine source. This is that light being seeded to us because we're walking in the light. We're walking this righteousness with honor. And you can feel that energy growing and expanding, pulsating maybe even. And now take this energy and we're going to gift it to someone. Maybe there's someone in your circle of influence who could use comfort or encouragement or strength. There's a lot of people suffering right now. And you probably know several that are. So just notice that you can take this energy and with your intent, you can bless them with it. So release that energy to them. No psychic backwash. Wash their hands off. Fresh, bright energy into your heart space. Left hand, right hand, heart. Connecting that circuit. And now that energy builds again. And as this energy is being built, you get to choose how to use that energy for yourself. Because you came here to do something really valuable, really important. And maybe the pandemic and the lockdown has made you feel as if you can't do what you came here to do. That's hooey. Hooey. You can choose to be a blessing. You can, just like sending that energy, you didn't have to be there. You don't have to do much of anything. But you can choose to utilize this energy in a way that grants you a path of service, a path of honor, that in turn blesses you with hope and grace. So bringing that energy into your heart space, really take that in. You are so loved, and you are so blessed. And now share it in the world. May your life be a prayer, meaning may every moment be a choice that you make from your upright heart, leading you to an honorable path on your ascension journey. We love you.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. We'll see you Wednesday Wisdoms for another fun thing, and I might do something fun on New Year's. Haven't decided yet.
Hi, Leonora.
So you
Goodbye,
have a
Leonora.
wonderful afternoon.